There's something about, um, this is so cool because my automatic writing this morning, since that's the topic of this call, was profound. And when you say the word activated, I'm just like going off on what we were talking about just before we hit record with uh, Paige and Kate. I was activated, if that's a word. I was like, you realize the energy of people, and then when it could probably make me cry, but like watching, we'd only done one retreat, before, and then we have, and now Diana's here. She was at the retreat. Um, and then this one, and it was like, I think for me, Kate, was like you weren't in your around your, because Kate was the member of that group, and I feel like you could just be yourself, and it like opened up a lot for you. And to watch you and like Kate channeled, because you all knew, and you were at the call when Kate channeled for us on that call. So she stood on the stage and channeled for the whole group, and there was like 40 people there. And it was like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. Like it was so, I mean, I felt like watching Amy, who, I mean, Tiffany knows, and but watching these people that we just kind of met 2 months ago and are like flourishing in their, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, we just came together, and I'm seeing it. So the point of me saying that tonight with you that haven't even weren't at the retreat is my automatic writing came through, and I'm just going to explain it before. And I'm not, I kind of wing it. So I'm just going to wing it. We'll all participate in how we automatic write. I'm not the PowerPoint girl, but my automatic writing came through today, and I know it was from my vibration and my energy from yesterday. And I just sit and I just write, and I don't, like at the retreat I said, write, dear spirit team, I'm trying to help people like begin doing it. But with me, and I want us all to share, but with mine, I just started writing, and it was like, oh my gosh, it the download that came through, because I've been doing it every day, it was more powerful today than it had been, um every time. Like it was like so clear to me, like, oh my gosh, you're on the right path. These retreats, you're going to be creating this center, like, because I used to have a day spa, and like it came back to that, saying when you were 30 and you had a day spa, that was your confidence building. So you were going to get to 55 and create this place because you knew you could do it before. And it was just like so detailed and so Kate and who was going to be there. Um and I saw it, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, like that's like manifesting, right? When you get that feeling and you're writing it, but like when you really get down into connecting to your higher self or your angels, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like full on download. So it was magical. And I know, Kate, did you have a magical reading or writing today?
Okay, I'm trying to, I think my journal's out. Oh no, here it is. I can't remember what I wrote about. I think it was interesting. It was a little bit about kind of tonight and uh yeah, I mean, for me, for me, things are going a little deep, right? It's just like I think that we all get to points where we're ready, I guess, to kind of hear things that maybe like a couple of years ago you might not be ready to hear, right? So some of the stuff I write, I would never share with anybody because I would be like, they'd probably think, well, you're a crazy girl. Or you know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, I could have said this about myself, whatever, not even that long ago, right? That I was just living in a certain kind of awareness, right? When you get to be in a different awareness, then it's just like, okay, we can share this little bit of information with you so that you can, but it's just stuff that's not going to send you on overload because your human mind just would not be able to probably process it or handle it or I don't know, even sit with it in a way that would be beneficial to your life, right? How to expand and be, the greatest version of yourself that you came here to be, kind of thing, you know? So I think it's kind of, you know, everybody's walking a different path. Everybody came here to be so unique and do, you know, what they're here to do. So everybody, it's just going to be different for everybody. Everybody's automatic writing is going to be different. And even like with your permission, Ashley, that I think since this is a small group, it would be interesting, not interesting, but I keep on hearing like, after I did that RJ Spino workshop, it was just like, instead of channeling, like they kind of showed me how to do more mediumship stuff, you know, so that I could just sit here and talk and just feed information to people like in the hot now. And like kind of what I'm getting is for them to first of all, get permission from all of you to like connect with all your angels and guides so that they can kind of speak to you as you're doing this, so you kind of feel them and know that they're there for you when you go and do it for yourself, they're saying. So yeah,
I love it.
so I think it'll be a very fascinating call.
Yes, I love it. Anybody, so just speak up and talk, but automatic writing, does everyone do that? Or who does? Raise your hand. Oh, no. So Jessica, Paige, Sonia.
I've
Diane?
tried it, but nothing really happens for me.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here to learn.
Okay. You know, so it was
I
like,
haven't, I don't
Yeah, you're-
really try it. I'm not familiar with it. Like, I don't know how to. And I think I tried it like once a long time ago. When I say long time ago, I mean like a couple months ago. But it's funny that I didn't know what this call was going to be on it. Like I said, I didn't know it was tonight. But when I was coming up to my room, I saw my pen and pad on my dresser. And because I was doing journaling earlier this morning during my meditation. And I looked at it twice. I was like, oh, I should grab that. I was like, nah, I don't need that tonight. I was like, no, I should grab that. I was like, no, I don't need that tonight. It's like I was arguing with myself. And then I get on the call and you guys are talking about automatic writing. So let me go grab it. Now I know I need it.
right.
That's
You know-
two hilarious things you just said. It's like, I journal, but I don't automatic write. That's kind of a funny statement.
Right. Well, I think people like just yesterday watching, you know, we taught automatic writing at the retreat. And you know, people say, oh, I do it at night, or, you know, and it's like, I don't know if I'm a writer and it doesn't come through. And, you know, it's always like, yeah, you just can't question it. And you just have to go, and we'll do that tonight. But it was, journaling, you know, people write in their diary, you know, when we were, you know, it's, you can start like that. I mean, when people were talking about it yesterday to me, they were saying, well, I journal. Well, I said, okay, but when you're journaling, you're writing from like a place in your brain, like when you write, like I think it's like your frontal lobe, but when you're channeling your higher self, that goes away like that. You're so connected. So there is a difference. But when you look back and look at your journals, because you are meditating, do you reread them?
So let me clarify. What I mean by that is that I've been trying to do a lot of like prayer, manifestation, affirmation. So what I've been doing lately is writing either keynotes down or certain specific things that I want to say. And then I was going to voice record myself and start listening to those, because during my research, I heard that's a really good, successful way for manifestation, for clearing out blockages, for helping you kind of quantum leap into your future self of what you choose to be. So I've been like kind of researching that and doing that. So that's only recent. Prior to that, with like what I call by journaling, so much so is like I said, just writing down dreams, aspirations, things like that, kind of journaling. I haven't ever really sat down and kind of like, okay, let's clear the mind after meditation. Let's just like let it flow. I haven't really done that, but maybe once or twice.
Okay.
So
Tiff, what about you? What does yours look like?
So mine is typically in the middle of the night, and I'll wake up and I just know that it comes more naturally to me. And for me, it's not automatic writing. I call it more intuitive writing. I ask my guides and my angels to come, and then I'll ask myself a question. I'll write down a question, and then my pen just starts flowing and it just comes natural. And I get messages that I feel were from me. And it wasn't something that I wrote necessarily. I feel like I channel messages from my guides when I do it that way. But it has to be for me, like in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and I'll look at my clock. And for me, it's like, okay, I'll wake up and I'll say, if my clock says like 1, 2, 3 or 2, 2, 2 or some like synchronicity number, then my guides are telling me you need to get up and write right now. And then I'll do it. But if it doesn't, then I go back to sleep. But it's like 99%, it will say some synchronicity number. So I'm like, oh gosh, okay, fine, I'll get up.
That's discipline.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I would
Kate?
say when it started for me, that's the way it started too. They would wake me up in the middle of the night, and it was explained to me, which it might be helpful, is because most of the energy around you is sleeping, right? So it's a very quiet frequency, and you're able, if you're not, if you're just learning, right? It's very quiet in the energy field, we'll just call it. So you're able to hear more clearly. So a lot of times when people start, they say, get up, pre-dawn if you can, when things are quiet and there's not much, traffic or anything going around, and then start that way if you can, because once the world wakes up, then there's all this frequency flying around. So it's much more difficult if you're not like super connected or tuned in to be able to hear. So that doesn't surprise me at all. That's
Yeah.
like, that sounds like exactly what your guides would do, kind of give you the nudge and kind of try to wake you up and say, okay, but again, you got to make sure that you're, I would say, because they woke me up all the time and then I was like sleep deprived. So make sure that you're like, okay, when you go to bed, you're like, I need a full night's sleep tonight, and no waking me up, like whatever, right? You're in the driver's seat.
Yes,
Kate,
that makes a lot of sense.
Kate, talk about how you that evolved for you, your automatic writing.
Well, for me, it was kind of like whatever, for me, I was just kind of like playing around, bored home with COVID and stuff. So it's just like, I was just playing with my pendulum and then asking questions. And I'm like, oh my God, people are talking back to me. And then, and then finally, when I, for some odd reason, just like, kind of what they told me is that like, what I never realized in my life is that I've always been a meditator in just a different way than people meditate, right? So they started showing me like all these ways that even as a child, like I wasn't a napper. So I would throw my blanket over my head and just sit there and look and just close my eyes. Always I would, or if I couldn't go to sleep at night, I'd close my eyes and always focus right here. I never knew why I did it, but I have done it forever. I'm just like, oh, I can go to sleep. I just need to close my eyes and tilt my eyes up like 20% and kind of be in this space. And then it's just like, I'm just, somewhere else like that. So I never really realized that this is probably something I knew, because we really do know everything that we need. We just forget that we know. So like I said, I think for everybody it's different, but for me, I've always had just an innate ability to quiet my mind super fast, even in a crowd, or, it's just like, I can just shut out the world really, but I never really knew. And then they just kind of said, okay, like enough of this pendulum business, get a pad and paper, right? I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get a pad and paper, but then it was same with you, Tiff. It was just, middle of the night, they're like, do you want to practice channeling? Do you want to practice channeling? I'm like, and of course I was excited. I'm like, of course I want to practice channeling, right? So then they just told me to just keep a pad and a notebook by my bed. And then I would just wake up in the middle of the night and then just write and then, go back to sleep. But, again, once they get your attention, you have to realize that, okay, it's a dance, right? Kind of, I think what they said on the session with Aaron, right? Like, we're humans, we're here to have a human experience. So it's important to be able to be human and then be this other piece of yourself that you're connecting with, right? Back and forth. It's not good to be in one place or the other place. So,
The session with who?
It was on the call. I remember when I channeled for Aaron.
Oh,
and
Aaron,
talking
yes, oh,
about-
yes,
Yeah, they were talking about the light language, which I don't know anything about, right? But they said it
Right.
was really important for her at this time, because now
Right.
she's kind of like in this Disneyland, right? This new, I mean, fun space, right? That's very important to still remember that like she's human in and out.
right, right.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I'm just going off that because I'm fresh in my mind, and I'm so glad we did that yesterday. So there were so many different people's responses on, and I'm saying that to you guys because it's everybody, it's there, everyone, and like Kate was saying, it's all so different. And so my girls were there, and Paige looked up at me and she goes, Mom, and she's the kind of daughter that will say, will you text, what do I say in this text message? Like, tell me what to write. So she's always been that girl. So she's looking at me with her blank journal and she's like, what do I write? And I'm like, just, I said, so I had said like, write, dear spirit team. I used to write like, dear Archangel Michael, dear dad, like I had a whole list, but I condensed it to dear spirit team. And so I told everybody, like, just write that. And then what do you want me to know? And so she's staring at a blank page, which is, I'm saying this because, if you haven't done it, like when Paige, you're saying like, I've never done this, I wouldn't even know where to begin. So I said, just start writing. And if you are writing and you're like stuck, just go, I don't know why I'm stuck right now, but I am. And you just keep writing. And then you're just going to watch your pen go. And then you just it's like it just will keep flowing. So then I look over at her page and she had 2 pages full writing. And she goes, Mom, I did it. And I know my spirit guide's name. It's Asia. And I'm like, what? Like it clicked. And I read her journal. I read it, and it was from her higher self. It was not, she didn't know she was doing it, but she wrote it, and it was through her talk. They were talking to her, and she didn't know what she was doing. So I'm just explaining that to you. And then I read Presley's right before I came on. I didn't know I had it right there in the kitchen, and it was the same thing. They were speaking to her, and she was writing it as that. And so when I explain the power, like for the ones of you who have children, which all of you guys do, Paige doesn't, to get them connected like that and to watch what I saw yesterday with my girls, was like, I mean, Lily's probably already doing that, Tiff, right? Like she's so connected. No?
For the writing, the journaling,
Yeah.
I haven't, but that's something that is coming soon.
Yes. And then Natalia, Sonia, she just needs to open that channel and trust, and I feel like when I looked over at her and I'm like, I'm not telling you what to write, like you just trust and you go. And she did. And it was, amazing. Like I will put that in my grave. Like I will not lose those pieces of paper. So anyway, so I think I was trying to figure out like how we would, if you have questions before, and then maybe just have your paper and we'll kind of start, and we'll go through like I want you to just start trying to write, and then we'll share like what comes through. We could, you could talk about, what is coming, what is spirit trying to tell me? What is my, where am I supposed to be? What is my, I mean, there could be any lead on question, but what you're trying to find, like what you're, like if you're trying to find something in your life or you're trying to figure something out, what is that like? And then just start writing and seeing what comes through. Yes, Kate, talk.
Yeah,
You're the pro.
Well, yeah, right. A couple of things. Like for me, when just and this is just me, so I don't know if this is for anybody else. They kind of channeled like a little prayer for me to say at the beginning, because for me, it was all about feeling safe and protected and knowing that the information that I was receiving was from like the source that I wanted to get it from. So they gave me a little prayer. And what I always say before I start any journaling is first, like they said, don't ever journal when you're upset. Like that is no time to be journaling. That's not when you want your energy to be clean and pure and in just the right headspace. So it's just like if you're, you know, if all of a sudden you just had a crap day and you're thinking, well, I need to get some information from my spirit team, that's not the time. Like, kind of just clear that out, and then, you know, do some breathing or get yourself in like a very calm place of peace and love. And then that's where you journal from. Just for, they told me that earlier today. They also said something kind of funny. They said, it's like the gateway drug to your soul, automatic writing. I thought that was kind of
Oh,
funny.
I love
It's
that.
like-
So true.
and I'm
You
like,
know
oh my
what?
God,
If I
that's
don't
what-
do it, if I don't automatic write, I feel like I've left people out, like I haven't gotten my team together. Like it's like I get, so it is like that. So it's usually morning. That's when I do it. I mean, sometimes I'll sit up here if I'm going to have a client or someone, like if, for example, with Natalia, when I see her on Wednesdays, I'll write like, what does spirit want me to share with Natalia? And I'll do that before I meet with her. Before an interview, I'll do that, you know, and I'll just write. And it's just so cool to see that. So, but my morning, and it's like with Kate, it's a clear mind. Like a woman yesterday said, I write at night, and you know, there's nothing wrong, but it's like that. It's so true. Like with my clarity this morning on how my energy was, and to show that through my writing, it was like I was out on my walk and I'm like, oh my gosh, and it just kept flooding. And so you start to understand when you are when you're writing the words that you're listening to, you will get into this place of like understanding that voice. So when you're out in walking in nature, it'll just start coming. When you wake up at 123 or 222, you'll be like, there it is. And that's what's happening to me. I don't know. Peter D, when I interviewed him last week and I did that clearing, I started waking up at, you know, these numbers, and I finally got that place where I felt I could connect with that. And I go back to the scalar energy from the week before, because he explained that scalar energy is where we connect at. So I kind of, maybe my mind needed to understand the science aspect of I visualized where I'm connecting, because I remember looking over at the clock and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I go, okay, because he always says, ask, you know, you got to talk. You go to the refrigerator, spirit, tell me what to eat. Spirit, tell me which way to turn, go to the grocery store, like start having that conversation. So you're getting used to that connection and that voice. So when I looked over at 1, 2, 3, normally I just go, oh, thank you, angels. Got it. Good night. Then I'll look over again. It's 1, 2, 3 or 1, 1, 1. It's constant. And so that night, I said, okay, I don't get up like Tiffany, but it was like, what do you need me to know? Like, what do I need to know? Why are you waking me up? And then I got it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm listening and I hear it. And it was like, I know that feeling because I write it, but I know it's because of my dedication to my writing that I've understood that connection, that I finally understood that. That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'm fresh on the thing. So I finally get that. It's like I see this strip. I mean, it's like, and it was like this strip of where I'm connecting, and then the voices started coming. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having a conversation. I'm not kidding you. My head was going to like, what the heck? And then I'm like, I look again, and I was so excited when I watched the clock, and I go, oh my gosh, we're going to go again. What am I going to know? There we go again. But it's just like, and I just feel like, Kate, do you feel like, because my automatic writing is becoming more?
Yeah, well, you're automatic writing, so you're already having that feeling, right? But then when we get out into our day to day, it's becoming aware, right? What happened was you became aware that all of a sudden you're becoming a little, if you want to call it clairaudient or whatever, that you have the ability now to kind of separate yourself from, again, the outside chaos, our day to day, and multitask. That's kind of what came through in my writing today. They said, okay, it's kind of like, especially for women, because we're multitaskers, right? So what they were trying to explain in my automatic writing is that, like, you kind of have to explain to people how it's like multitasking, right? You can sit there, like I wrote, it's kind of like you're making a cup of coffee. That's something you need to, or taking a shower. They said, taking a shower because I think they backtracked on that. You don't need coffee, Kate, but so they said, but you need a shower. So you're taking a shower, something you need to do. And while you're doing that, you're getting all this information. So you're multitasking, right? So you're training, like you're training your human to understand that this thing is a big multitasker. Like you can sit there and you can be walking down the street and have those conversations like you're saying, so that intuitively you're just making decisions just on the fly. You're multitasking, you're not thinking, you're getting information and you're knowing now, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm
Yes.
supposed to do. This is where I'm going. And at some point, it's probably just going to be more of an integration where I don't even know if you're going to even notice the difference of maybe your intuition versus what you would consider at this point thinking.
Right. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? Diana?
Yes, I do. So yesterday with the retreat was my first time trying automatic writing. And it helped a lot when Kate said, just get quiet and you're not writing, you're listening. Like you're just listening. You're not thinking, you're listening. So I haven't looked back to see what I wrote. I think I wrote about 1 page and I don't know, I'm going to go back and look at it because I literally can't remember what I wrote. And I felt like the note you had us write at the beginning of the day to our future self, I feel like that might have been some automatic writing. Like
Mhm.
maybe you put the intention out there already that this was going to be for somebody else. Because I couldn't really remember what I wrote. So anyway, that was just another thought I had. But after yesterday, I had every intention to automatic write this morning because every morning I meditate and it's my time. Everybody's sleeping. That's my time in the morning
Mhm.
when it's quiet. And I was going to automatic write, but the first thing that happened was I had a text from Monica saying that one of my good friends had passed away. And she was asking if I knew that. And I was like, no, I had no idea. Like, so she said she passed away Friday, or she heard that she passed away Friday. And this girl's like a few years younger than me.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
shocked. I was like, what? So I don't have any information on what happened, but she was an intuitive medium. And she was very, very spiritual. Like she could talk to people that had passed on. So right now that I was listening to Kate, I was like, I wonder, like, if I automatic write, would she come through, or is it always your spiritual team? Like,
No,
do
my
other
dad
people
comes
come
through.
through?
My dad
Yeah,
comes through
okay.
all the time. And
Okay,
it's
that was
honey, sweetheart. And you know what's cool? Like the other day, or a week ago, I mean, a month ago, was my dad. He comes, I always say, dear spirit team and dad. Like I always put him in there. I know he's my spirit team, but I always want to write his name. And he passed away. It'll be 18 years in May. So it's been a while, but I am always connected. But now that I've been automatic writing, and Kate too, with her dad, who just passed away a year ago. When I see the language that comes through, it's like, honey, it's dad. Like, and then we talk, like he's talking about the girls. He talks about, why you met that person. We all connected with you. We're so excited. We see you as a Light Bright game. Remember Light Bright when we were kids? And I'm like,
oh,
who remembers Light Bright? Diana
I
would.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Love Light Bright. Yeah.
So he says, we see you as a Light Bright game. Remember that, honey? We had that game when when you were a kid. And so I'm seeing the Light Bright. He goes, you're so bright on that Light Bright. And he goes, you're lighting up people around you. So picture the Light Bright and what you're doing. So he'll bring that up a lot. And I'm like, I haven't thought of a Light Bright game
Yeah.
since we were 8?
I haven't thought about it till you said it right now. I'm like, oh, Light Bright. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, kids don't play with that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, my girls, I might have gotten one when they were little, but that was just probably through my childhood. Like, please
And
play
just
something that I,
she likes it.
oh, she does? Oh, good. Her granddaughter. So yes, Diana, Kate, talk about your dad and how he comes through and how you can feel the difference in his energy and how he
Oh, yeah.
talks to you.
Definitely the people that are that you have known in the physical, you feel the same thing when you're writing about them. And like you, Ashley, what I was gonna say is that, Diana, like when I read that entry yesterday, like I wrote that it was my dad coming through on his wedding anniversary to my mom. So I was able to read that message to her. So that was the thing that was so special about it. It was just like, here he had this really beautiful message that I got to write. And then, you know, immediately I called her. I'm like, hey, look what I got a message from Dad, you know? And so on her wedding anniversary, I think it would have been their 65th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
She got to hear from him, right? So like, how beautiful
That's
is
so
that?
cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Beautiful.
And it's asking Diana, like, talk to her, like, write a letter to her, like, and see what comes through. It's just practicing. It's like
Yeah.
seeing and like not doubting yourself and not saying, am I making this up? You could
Right.
sit there and make yourself like crazy going, you know, am I making this up? Like I talk about the crystal. I mean, Kate's had some scientific things come through her, like to the point where she's like researching, like what happened? What did I just learn? Like things like, you know, Paige, like with Christy and how we started learning quantum, and she was talking about physics. And I said, how do you know that? She's like, I don't. It's just
Mhm.
coming through, you know?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like what you're describing is what happens to me during meditation or dreams, where I get a lot of downloads and information. And then when I'm done, I just write down what came to me during my meditation, or I'll wake up in the middle of the night after a dream and write down what my dream was about. But my writing is usually, you know, recording what happened. It's not happening at the same time. I
Right.
don't know.
But that's, you're connecting. So if I would say like, that's a connection and you're writing, like people talk about writing in your, you know, your dream journal to keep
Mhm.
that to understanding, like to understand. I mean, that's always, we've heard that for our whole life of get a dream journal. But I feel like that connection and you're seeing that, like you're trying to like understand it and make it more concrete by writing it and seeing the patterns and where it's like your subconscious mind, like where your spirit's, you know, speaking to you. That's part of it, don't you think? I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, it just seems like it's happening to me in a different way maybe than what you're
Yeah.
doing.
But you can start
Sure.
doing the writing.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to try.
Yeah, I just think we should try like just to like we did yesterday. Diana, do you have paper in your car or are you just gonna watch?
I found
Oh,
this.
okay,
I'm
perfect.
just gonna use this.
Yeah. So let's just start and get your paper out and don't question it and just say, what am I supposed to know? Or whatever like question in your mind, like,
I just want to add for everybody. I was talking about the prayer that they gave me, and I would kind of recommend that you come up with whatever feels right to you. The one that they gave me that I say, I thank God and the angels and beings that walk in God's light for connecting with my soul and communicating to me what you feel I need to know. I'm willing to listen and receive. So that's the prayer that I say before I journal every single day.
they
And
gave that to you, Kate?
they gave that to me. And then I added on, and this is from Michael Sandler's thing. It's just
Mhm.
like, you know, I thank God for protecting me, surrounding me, and embedding me in your love and light. So that's kind of what I do, just to clear my energy and make my intentions very clear who I'm, you know, receiving information from. But I would suggest that each and every one of you come up with your own type of prayer that resonates with, you know, deep within you, how you feel, and go from there. So, and like they always said, it's just like, there's a lot of stuff that we want to know, but they really want to give you the information that you need to know. So that's why it's important to say, you know, thank you for revealing to me what I need to know, because that is going to help you in this moment in time, more than anything. They're going to give you it, you know, what your soul needs at this point. Because I think they told me one time, like they had shared with me, and this is through my automatic writing, is that like, that I was kind of here to help people with their now self. Because if you can't get past some of the things that you're dealing with in the now, then they told me, then their future self doesn't get to show up, right? So, you know, through the automatic writing, they'll really give you the information and stuff that's kind of a little maybe further out, but definitely things that are really going to help you get centered and find your way now.
I'll try to find some kind of fun music to play while we do like 5 minutes of writing. So we're not just in the silence. And but just like what Kate, what do I need to know now? And just trust yourself and see what comes through. And I'll play something good. I'll play the megahertz to connect with your spirit. How's that? Because I have that handy because I always do that. I'm gonna do like one more minute and I'll be right back. Don't rush.
Actually, mine obviously came through as a group message, so
Oh, good.
I'm excited to share.
Oh, good. I can't wait. Share. Are we all good? Kind of wrapping up. At the end, I always say, it's like, we love you. I'm so grateful, like, end in gratitude. Okay, go ahead, my dear Kate. Read away.
Yeah, it was funny, I wasn't gonna write, and then I thought, okay, I'll write. It says, we thank you for representing us this day, this call, this lifetime. For you are really stepping into the quote unquote spiritual, and then it says, and we know you don't like that word, teacher you came to be. Tell all that they are so loved by so many who have come this day specifically to grab their attention. All are so connected and protected by just being in this group or collective. You share energy and a frequency that we wish you all could see. It is amazing light you all beam together. Stay committed and don't falter because you miss a day or two. We don't care. Just get back to it. And before long, you will be a quote unquote pro, haha, like Kate. For there is a method to this at the start, but you will soon find your own way, place, time of day that works for each one individually. Some will continue like Kate and Ashley. Some will be audio automatic peeps, some typing into the computer, but at first go pen and paper. It holds a good vibration and connects. Love to all this night, the Conscious Collective of Creator Source Frequency.
I love that. Thank you. Anybody else? What can I share away what you experience? I wrote 4 pages. My gosh, my arm, I get numb. It just goes. Who can share? Anybody have any like aha moments? Like, oh, I'm getting it. Paige, I'm calling on you. Oh, Sonia, go.
It's really interesting because I didn't write a lot, but I got kind of what Kate shared. And it was just the words like love, connection, light. And then it was something about amplifying the light.
That happened yesterday too. Someone was automatic writing exactly what Kate had said. So when I walked by her, she goes, I wrote everything that Kate would like pretty much on the same. It's like those kind of things that happen like that makes you realize that we're so connected, like that just such a confirmation of, I mean, yeah, just being together yesterday was like such a confirmation of being connected. And when you have that connection, how your energy is just like, so high. It's amazing. Diana, what about you or anybody?
I got a lot of trust that I'm on the right path, that I'm protected, that they're always with me, my angels. Keep trusting, keep teaching, being in service, and just teach with love, share my message. A lot of trust, and to not have fear or doubt. At one point, I felt like I was in the flow, like it was just automatic. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, I'm in the parking lot. So maybe I got distracted or something. And I was like I felt like I lost the connection for a second. So I had to like try to bring him back. And then I started writing again. So I filled the front and the back of this card.
Oh, cool.
So I'll read it later, like to see, what else I wrote. But basically it was like trust. And I got that when I did yoga today and Saturday, I think it was, like I keep getting that message to just trust the process, trust that I'm in the right place, that, just I'm doing what I need to be doing, but just to trust it and be patient.
Right. I love it. Paige, what about you?
I got that, I got you're loved and need to show yourself more love. And then I got that, next time I wake up in the middle of the night from a dream to try to meditate at that time. I think that, most of my stuff that comes to me is like a knowing, just instant in my head. And I get that when I meditate. So I think maybe it's hard for me to just sit here and write it, because I feel like I need to put the pen down and breathe, and then it will come to me, maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I can certainly try this, but I did get to try to meditate next time I'm woken up in the middle of the night instead of going back to sleep.
Oh, good. That was inspired by Tiff.
I know.
That's big.
Can I share something with Paige? Because this is kind of like what I think that they wanted me to do, is like to answer questions. So like when you're talking, immediately they're saying, okay, she needs to know that she's an overthinker. So we're telling her to wake up and kind of meditate so that she doesn't like overthink your dreams. That's what they want you to know. Like, it's not that like you're not very intuitive. They're saying you're a very intuitive person. And that knowing is your intuition. And like what happens, they're saying that like you know something and then you overthink it. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, do I really know that? That's what they want you to see about yourself. They want you to see that trust that and don't go into the thinking brain. So that's that.
So I wrote that down too, but I didn't want to say it because I was embarrassed. I wrote, you were thinking instead of being moved from your head into your heart.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And
That's why I'm
Diana,
laughing.
yeah, and Diana, I didn't want to like interrupt like what Ashley was doing, but kind of what came through for you was they're saying, yes, we want her to know about trust because you grew up, they're showing me in your childhood where you were programmed, we'll say, where they didn't allow you to trust yourself. So you're still carrying that kind of childhood energy that like everybody else made decisions for you, kind of, they're saying, and that like you're kind of, you're just a little bit, they're showing me kind of like a racehorse, like you're ready to get out there and run, but like that you still have that energy that's kind of like pulling back on the reins a little bit. And that you have to realize that like, that's not who you are anymore. That's not who you have to be.
Thanks, Kate. I appreciate that message.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, holding back the reins totally makes sense. Like, I feel like sometimes I play small. I'm trying to figure out how that translates to my childhood. But yeah, I can feel.
Yeah, and they're kind of
Yes.
saying that it's not necessarily this childhood. They're saying it's something that you brought in this lifetime.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Jessica?
So mine was kind of like a couple is very short because I just couldn't connect. So basically I kind of said what Kate suggested, but I had my part at the beginning, to the Dear Spirit team part. But really all it really came through immediately right away when everything got silent was you're doing it, you're on your way, keep going, choose your path of light, help where you can. And then like loving and love came through for me. And then that was it. Like I couldn't think of anything else. But I also have a question for Kate. At the end of what the message you just told us, You said something about conscious collective. What is that? What did that mean?
That's like the group that comes through for me that I channel. So like when I go straight into channel, I was like, my human was like, well, who are you? Like, and they're just like, we're a conscious collective. Like, you're a part of us, we're a part of you, we're all connected. It's just like, so they said that kind of naming frequent energies group, like it's just kind of a human thing that we just kind of want to know.
I
So
find that fascinating
yeah.
because earlier today I was telling my husband, I mentioned about the conscious collective and I don't know where it came from. And I never heard that from you. I never heard that from anybody. I like didn't even know where that came from. But like
Yeah.
I was talking to my
But
husband
of
today.
course, they're screaming at me right now and saying like, okay, we don't want to confuse anybody right here because Kate is, I don't want to go into a channel, but we're going to do it, Kate. Kate channels a collective, but we don't want anybody to misunderstand that there are a whole bunch of different collectives. Think of them like all of a family, like cousins that live in different places. They all, kind of group together to focus on like one mission. So Jessica, we want to say to you that you are very connected to the angelic realm. So when you start writing, and my dear, you can write, you will be channeling angels. Those are your main peeps, as Kate likes to call them. So that is who will come through for you. You are surrounded, my dear, surrounded by the angelic realm.
Very cool. Thank you.
Do you feel that? Do you have angel experiences?
Every time I try and connect, I'm always drawn to just only angels. That's all it's ever been. I had a couple readings by a couple different intuitives and they told me Archangel Michael's a huge one for me. And a guardian angel named Mary looks like the Blessed Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene, but she said she doesn't think it is. So I don't really know if that's true. Even though another medium told me before that I'm connected to the Blessed Mother, but then like I'm always feeling like I always talk to angels a lot, like all the different archangels. Like that's my thing. That's just like always when I pray or anything like that, besides obviously God's source, it's always an angel thing. It's not much of the ascended masters of what other people say. So I don't know. I feel like I'm connected to
They're
angels.
trying to say to you, it's not by accident. So
Yeah.
you have to just, and they're saying to embrace it. They're embracing you. They want you to embrace them.
Okay. Thank you.
You know, what I get from you, Jessica, too, is your words are like, I keep saying I can't connect. It's hard for me to, the words that you say, instead of saying like, I just can't connect. It's hard. Instead of doing that, it's like, oh, this is so cool. I can't wait to see, like changing the words that you use. Maybe, I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know.
been
That just was
working.
coming to
No,
me.
I've been studying a lot about like positive affirmations and positive words to change my dialect of how I kind of come across. And honestly, the reason why I feel like I have a hard time connecting is because I have like chakra blockages. I have energy blockages. I have a lot of trauma from my childhood and like probably past lives from what I've been told by other people, which certain specific things they said, I can relate to that in this particular lifetime. So I feel like a lot of my issues are from um, energy misbalances or blockages. So I've been trying to do that kind of work. Like I'm staying away from other things with other people, not like going on social media and things like that as much anymore, just so I can focus on trying to just unblock myself so I can connect more. Cause I'm really adamant about having a spiritual connection and path and diving into this more. But, I realize I have a lot of work to do. And part of that is my dialect of how I kind of word things so I can, you know what I mean?
I gotta add, and this is just gonna be me just listening and sharing, because they're saying to me that this is for everybody, is that when you're kind of doing your spiritual work, they're showing me like all the things like the Reiki and the cards and all those things. you start identifying with that story, right? That's just a kind of a little whatever, a little piece of information that they can give you, but they don't want you to live that story, because they're saying what they're showing me is like just what they said. They're showing me my writing right now, and that like that just being in this group, Jessica, you're getting unblocked. We're moving energy for you. We're all, Ashley's moving energy for you. I'm moving energy for you. Everybody in this group is moving energy for each other, because there's no way we could be together if we're not like, then they're just showing me like a sine wave. We have to like, we're resonating at the same frequency. So you're kind of, they're showing me like a history book, like that you're living in the past. You're living in the past of what somebody told you before. That may have been before. It's not what it is now. And you just do not see it yet. They're showing me like these big glasses. They want you to put these big glasses on and see that like you are not the same person, right? That you're not that. And yes, everybody has layers. They're showing me an onion. We're peeling back the layers, right? That everybody's coming in. And I think yesterday they said like price of admission for the human experience, you got to carry this baggage of your ancestors and all this crap, right? So we're here to, peel back the layers, drop the luggage, know that that's really not who we truly are, right? But you can connect with your angels. They're saying, even if you have some baggage, right? It's not like they're saying, it's just like, it's not a stop at go, don't go around the board because you have to do this work. No, they're saying that's not how it works. That like they want to come in and help you, and then they'll help you drop some of that baggage. You can do both. They're saying, and they're showing me the multitasker thing. Multitasking is just like, you all have stuff to clear out, but that is in no way a card that means that you can't start talking to your angels. No, they're saying. So change your mindset, they're saying, and start saying to yourself things like, wow, I mean, can it get any easier for me to connect with my angels? Oh my God, like really? And of course, my dad's sitting here and he's saying, Catherine, you need to tell her, Kant never did anything. That's what my dad used to tell me when we were growing up. That was his line every day, man. We that word never came out of our mouth because he would just stop us like that. Kant never did anything. But anyway, so know that you can, like that there is no reason, like you're only telling yourself a story that I can't connect with my angels because they're ready and waiting, they're saying. Because somebody told you, some other healer told you a story that just is like an old chapter in the book. They're saying, they're just like, boop, that's an old book.
Right. So Jessica, this woman yesterday at the retreat, she was like, it was every time she would say, I can't do the breath work. It was hard for me to get focused. I can't lay there. It's like so hard. And then I started doing, I'm like, okay, change your words. Like, the Wayne Dyer saying, like, change your story, change your life. And so I told her that I'm like, change your story. Like that'll change your life. Like the things you talk about and the trauma and I'm not discounting that, but when we're sitting in the moment right now and we're like, oh my gosh, and what you can tell yourself, you can do anything. And I told that to Presley today. We were sitting at the counter and they didn't have school today. And she was saying something. And I said, Presley, change your story. Like I just finished telling this woman at the retreat yesterday. And then by the third time, she goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to write that down. Change my story, change my life. And I was like, yes, the words that the stories and I can't do it. And all the things Kate just said, it's like, I mean, when I'm listening to you, I'm like, stop. Those words are so powerful. Those are what create your life. And when you realize your words are creating everything in your existence, it's like I am the word police in this home. Like my girls they're so programmed, but so you have these little kids, right? Like you're this mom that they're looking at and they're going to do what you do. And basically they're going to do what you do, not what you say. So they're doing everything that you're doing. And then you're going to watch these little things grow and see what you've done to program them. And when you say, you know what? It doesn't matter what happened a day ago. It doesn't matter what happened 40 years ago. I can connect and be in this place of right now in the present moment and be like in awe of life and exude that vibration. That's going to change your whole entire dynamic. Your the connection you have with this moment, and even in this writing, instead of like questioning it, it's like, oh my gosh, I am so powerful. Like you're just remembering who you are in writing. Like this is who you are. Like when you connect with this amazing spirit team that you have, and you're like, oh my gosh, like we're all in this team. You're me. I'm you. I'm watching you. Like if I didn't see what in you, it's in me. Like we're all a reflection of each other. And I say this to my girls all the time, like whatever is going on outside of you is a reflection of what's going on outside of is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So if something's, triggering you, it's in me. So always know like whatever's in me. I mean, Sonia, with you and Natalia, because I work with her daughter once a week, when we talk about things that she struggles with, like I look at it like I try to explain it to her. She's in sixth grade. Sixth grade.
Sixth grade.
Sixth grade, middle school. And she has this self-talk, and I try to explain to her this self-talk is creating her life when she goes to school, right? So when have this hamster wheel that I tell her, like that's what you're creating in your life. Like, so with these little kids that Tiff, you, Paige, no, not Paige, Jessica, and Jordan, the words that you're speaking to the children and what you're speaking to it's like so powerful. And what they're like, that's what they're just, it's like they're these sponges that they're just taking upon whatever you do. And you're the change maker. You're the ones that are going to, put the spoke in the wheel and say, okay, let's do it differently. And the words that you say, oh, like, I'm not that present, or it's hard for me to get that. And then they're like, you're just rewriting your chapter. So I get it. Tiff, what about you, my dear? Or Lonnie? Or do you want to say anything, Jessica, before I end that? My scolding.
No, I mean, I can relate to that because my daughter, see, I don't talk to anybody about my problems ever. My kids don't hear me say, they don't even know people that cause my issues growing up. They don't have a relationship with these people. They're from different part of the country. So they don't hear me talk about any of these things. I don't even talk to my husband about any of it. But ironically enough, it's like I'm a different person with my children. When she says things like, I can't do this, or I don't want to, and it's like, I don't know if it's a lazy thing or just like her confidence issue, I'm always the first one to quick scold her, just like you scolded me, because it's like, I won't stand for my kids to act like that or do that. And I feel the same way about what you just expressed to me. And I don't really talk to anybody about any of my things. It's just, it's what I just noticed in myself. It's hard, you can't heal unless you notice the problems that you hold within yourself. So I acknowledge, for years, I didn't acknowledge it. And probably that's why I'm only doing this work at 40 years old instead of doing it years ago, because I'm only acknowledging it now. But, I kept it in instead of just kind of like releasing it. So part of my work, healing, whatever you want to call it, is acknowledging my issues and doing research of how to like fix it. That part of it's like positive affirmations, positive talk, positive thinking, all those kinds of things. So like everything you said is totally correct. It's just sometimes I forget, sometimes I go back to my old ways, and other times I have really amazing days, multiple days in a row, where it's just like, fantastic. And then other days, sometimes I throw I can't connect with my angels kind of thing experience. So work in progress,
And we all are. We're all human. We're all exactly that. I am you and you are me in million%. Um, it was an interesting um experience with Paige, who's 17, my oldest daughter. She, the one I was explaining, learned how to automatic write yesterday. She's been in this place, and I've always explained to them since they were born how important your vibration is and how we do our morning routine and how we set the day up for success. And like we're always and so, you're as a mom, you're thinking like, oh, maybe it's working, maybe it's not. Who knows if they really care about gratitude, journaling, they're just doing it because I'm telling them to. So 2 days ago, before the retreat, she goes, Mom, I'm flying so high right now. Everything is happening. I'm getting my every parking spot. Like when she goes to crew on Saturdays, the college team is there at like 5 a.m. So she is always like panicked about getting there early to get a parking spot because it's kind of dark. Well, it's probably not any, maybe, yeah, probably now. And she doesn't want to walk millions of miles to get to practice. And she's scared because it's dark. And I said, and so we started talking. I'm like, gosh, just get your vibration up and create that parking spot. And so, and I've taught that to her for her entire life. So now she's happy. She's experiencing this high vibration. She goes, Mom, I get to practice front row spot. I get to something, this happened. Oh my gosh, Mom, this happened. I get it, Mom, I get it. I'm like, okay. But it's like this, like yesterday after her experience at the retreat, everything after that was like, Mom, I get it. Like that put me in such a high vibration that now I see, like my friends see it, my friends that I brought to the retreat, but it's that vibration. I'm saying that because I feel like when you talk that and you're going down the page are getting all the things. What? What'd you say, Kate? I didn't.
I said the pages, like page.
Oh,
dot-
page.
you know,
Oh yeah, the
like
pages.
it's the pages.
Are getting it. Yes, my page. You page and my page.
Yeah, page and your page.
But it's like all the things that we say, our story brings it down. But when you realize that the story you tell, you can tell a different story and start seeing the magic. She got it. And I was like, oh my gosh, before she leaves me, she got it. It took that long to where she was like, Mom is trying to teach me something. It is working. I get it. But and I know you're that amazing mom, and you guys should follow Jessica on Instagram because she has the cutest Instagram. But you have that vibration totally. And it's so beautiful to watch. So live in that place that you are, because I know that person. And it's so amazing to see because all the angels and all your automatic writing will just come through you. She has been launched.
Thank you.
Tiff and Lonnie, what was your writing like? And I'm sorry,
So
we're over the time.
what came in through for me was that I'm on the right path and that you are actually, I'm supposed to be on this call tonight. You are going to help guide me to continue on the journey I'm already on, but to keep me
Yay.
do that together. And then also sound. Let's lean into sound to help heal people. So for me, that's like sound baths, sound bowls, instruments, things like that is what that means to me. So
Are you drawn to that?
I am very much drawn to that. Yeah. It sings to my heart. So I need to order some sound bowls and just practice and play with it. And yeah, Amy actually channeled for me and she told me sound bowls and a couple other instruments that I have never heard of that I've started listening to them on YouTube, but I've never been around them. So I need to play with them and check them out.
What about you, Lonnie?
So yeah, I wrote down that I'm here to meet my soul group and to build something beautiful for everyone to rest in, connecting, sharing, building each other up, and learning how to use our new gifts and enjoying this next chapter. That's basically what I wrote.
I love it. And I connect with you so much. Yesterday, seeing you, I was telling Tiffany, I'm like, I just love your mom so much. There's definitely a connection.
Same
It's
here.
it's so interesting. It's so amazing. And I have that with each and every one of you, but I just like being in person and I'm like, wow, like it's, you just get that. Um, there's a familiar, what, Kate, can you give me a tip on that? Like why don't you explain? Because I love your explanations. Like when I get to like yesterday and I'm connecting with these people are checking in and I don't know if I know them because I haven't seen them before, if they, signed up and someone like Diana had the whole back row because they all drove from LA. It was amazing. And I don't know when they come up, but when I see these people and I'm just like, I know I'm like, we're connected. Like, do you
Yeah.
get me a download?
First, they're telling me they want me to go back to Tiffany and Lonnie because
Okay.
they say, we want to give the extended message. I'm like, okay, like.
Do.
I know the extended message, what they want you guys both to know is like, it's very infrequent. They're saying that, that there's a mother-daughter duo. So they're super excited for you both, like doing this together. They said that it's super important, especially like for your family lineage, they're saying, because it's going to be people like you. They said that understand this within their family unit that is going to be passing it down from generation to generation. So first they want to honor you both. They're saying that we want to honor you, especially you, Lonnie. They're saying that sometimes it's hard to see new things and they appreciate that you are so open and that you're embracing your daughter. The one thing that kind of came through, and I just want to, when you were talking about the sound healing, that they wanted you to know is that they're saying yes, like yes to the sound bath, sound healing thing, but they want to make sure that you don't get stuck on that, right? Because that is the now, right? And there's a bigger future in sound healing. So they just want, they don't want to go there now, they're saying, but they want to make sure that you don't get stuck in that because it's much bigger for you than just that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now they're saying, okay, back to Ashley's question. So they're saying, they're showing me the sine wave again, is that what you feel, Ashley, they're saying is that like, you feel a connection to everybody because it's just, you're kind of like, and then they're showing me like a tuning fork. You're like this tuning fork, right? So basically you're kind of banging it. And these people that are not quite in residence, they're saying, they're showing me a picture of like those balls that hit together, right? So they're
Mhm.
saying that you can have these all balls that are hitting at different times, but you are the one that you bring all these balls that are not quite hitting together. But once they're together, they said that you can watch it on YouTube or something. They said, check it out on YouTube. You'll see all these balls that are kind of not bouncing together, but eventually they start bouncing together. So they're
Mhm.
saying you're kind of like this tuning fork that kind of gets these balls bouncing together. And when that happens, the vibration gets bigger, the wave gets bigger, and that's what it is.
Yeah. When I wrote in my writing was Diana and I wrote Sonia and Jessica. And I wrote, I don't, I'm not going to read it, but what you just said to me was like, first it came Diana and I gave me tears because I was like, Diana and I met on a Zoom class in 2020. And there's something about her. And she's come to both retreats and it was like, what I feel like is like, she connects to your energy. She sees where she's going, but you're leading her for some reason. Like you're like the light bright that she's connected, like her light is connected to you. And then I got the same thing with Sonia. Like Sonia, there's a vibrate, like I'm getting this in my writing. It came through like she, like her, oh, it's like her she sees my energy, and then sees what Natalia is. It's not that she hasn't turned her light brights on enough to where Natalia can turn her light brights on. And I'm using this light bright thing, but it's like a visual for me to like understand, like Natalia needs her whole light bright lit up, but I'm there to help her figure out how to light it up. But Natalia is gonna be the teacher to you, Sonia, on how to light your light bright up. Does that make any sense? But that's what and then with Jessica too, I think when I said to you, like, I see you as this beautiful mother and what you're doing for your children. And I love the age of your children. I would go back to that mom in a second. And it brings me tears again. But when I see the mom that you are, and when you focus on saying trauma and all the words that you used earlier, when you can just look at who you are, like this amazing mother, like huge, like you're giving these kids this huge gift, like beyond. And that's that's the focus. Like, I wouldn't even look at the other stuff. Like, you are so amazing at what you're doing as a mom. Like, that is your gift, like for those two beautiful children. Like, those kids are like going to be the game changers in people's lives because of you. And I
Thank
hope
you.
you see that. But that's,
Sweet
and
to
I feel
see.
that way with Natalia too. Like, she's getting there, but I feel like she's like, you're drawn to me because you feel like I can pull that out in her and make her light bright shinier. Does that, I don't know. It was so funny that those three names came through on my writing. And Diana, yours came through first. And it's so funny.
I
think.
love that. We're definitely connected.
Yeah. But you know what else is interesting too, and I will end this because we're an hour and a half in, is in life when you connect with people, and Kate was, saying how, whatever the connection and the energy. And I explain this to my girls too. And when your girls get older, Natalia and Jessica, and Tiff, when Lily gets older, and your grandchildren, Kate. I mean, Jake is already at the teenage years, so Diana is with me. It's just so cool to explain to them when people come into their life, these friends, and then they kind of disappear, or they don't connect anymore, or they've kind of veered off and they take it like, what's wrong? It's not wrong. And to start sharing that with them, like, wow, isn't that cool that you veered this way because your vibration it's just not a connection anymore. There's nothing personal. I talk to Natalia about that every week. Like, you don't have to, at the lunch tables, if it doesn't feel right, it's because their vibration doesn't connect with you. It has nothing to do with who they are as a person. They're on their own journey. But as a mom, to realize, like, gosh, I mean, I think Lily, this being around her for a couple times, like she's an old soul to the, I mean, Natalia's an old soul too, but it's like, wow, like they're like so beyond. But when they realize and they start to get older as teenagers, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, why is that happening? It's because your vibration is here and it's like amazing and perfect. And you're going to attract that tribe, just like us. We've attracted this tribe because of how we vibrate, like Kate said, or Kate's consciousness. Right? Yes. Anybody last parting words? Thank you for everyone. Diana, for you, like standing in the car and now wherever you are.
I'm at Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay. You're
Shopping.
amazing.
I'm so
Anyway.
glad I came. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, I loved it. Thank you guys so much. Anybody, any last parting words? Thank you for
you.
being on for so long.
Thank
Anybody's
you.
magic?
And gave me a good start on some, automatic writing. So I'm glad that I was here today, and your kind words, Ashley, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, this was definitely inspiring for me. And I heard the word fascinating. I've been hearing that word a lot today. So that's
Oh, it's so
Kate
fascinating.
started with, this call is going to be fascinating.
That's our
So
word.
thank you, because I have read the book, The Automatic Writing, but I needed this to inspire me to really start doing it. So thank you.
Anybody else? Paige, what about you?
I'm just really happy I was here and got to see new people that I haven't met before, and I really enjoyed the connection. And thanks to Kate as well for your input.
Mhm.
Do you do this every Monday?
It's the first Monday of the month. The next one will be on the 8th. I'll make sure I send it to you and remind you when it comes up.
Okay, it's a different topic each time, or?
Yeah, well, I'll have a
Okay.
speaker usually. This was just an added bonus
Ah.
call. So usually I have a speaker from the podcast come on for the last half hour, but we usually just connect at the beginning. What was I gonna say? Shoot, I forgot, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, I love you all so much. And when you get connected to your automatic writing and you get like this friendship and this like relationship with your spirit team, and you just trust and know that they're going to talk to you. I mean, it's just amazing. And you're going to start to have that in your real life, in day-to-day life, like we talked about earlier. But it's like, it's not something that's going to come because you're wishing it to come. It's going to become something because you've committed yourself to doing it, and then recognizing, like today, like spirit team, like talking and making that part of your life and using that in every day of everything. Like when Diana's at Trader Joe's, she's like, okay, spirit team, show me what to buy. Show me who to connect with. Show me who to smile at. I love going to the grocery store. That's probably one of my favorite things because I love to see how I can make people happy in the parking lot, they'll say, thank you so much for caring at the checkout. It's genuine. I mean, I'm interested in, like, oh, you're a student? They're like, wow, no one ever asked me. Then I go to Sweet Greens to get the girls a salad, and I talk to I'm just saying this, I'm on my last. And I get the girls a salad because they love Sweet Greens. And this girl says, you're my favorite customer. She gives me her family discount at 50% off because I'm her favorite. I'm like, I tell the girls, I'm like, see, if you just are interested in people and share your love and like light, and you don't know what you're doing, but I said, I get free salads at Sweet Greens. But but I'm just saying that because you just don't know what a difference you make at the grocery store, at a Sweet Greens, wherever you're at, the gas station, who knows? But so that just raises your vibration. And at Trader Joe's. So make a magic moment tonight, Diana, and send me a message.
Yeah.
Well, that actually came through the automatic writing, was to connect with people.
Oh, good.
So I'll start right now.
Okay.
The one last thing they wanted to say to you all is that, like, they said sometimes like Earth can be kind of a lonely place, but for you all to know that you're never alone. You are never alone. Like, they just want you guys to hear that so loud. They're just like, you're never alone. And that's truly the blessing. Because like what they're showing me is like literally them just like carrying you over the threshold. Like, we're here to carry you through whatever, because like now they're showing me barbells. Everybody is so strong. Like, you are so strong to be moving through this life, and they're right there with you to help you in any way that you ask. That's what they're saying. You have to ask for our help. You have to ask for our guidance, because you're there to make your own choices. They're saying we're here to help, but you need to ask. So that's what they want to close with.
Right. I love that so much. Anybody else? Last words of magic? I love it. I love it. I love it. And I get so excited. Thank you, everybody. And so next call will be April 8th on a Monday. And I haven't figured out who I'm going to have as a guest yet. I keep circulating in my mind Paige, you have someone you want me to have as a guest.
That's the total solar eclipse is April 8th. That's a big
Oh,
day.
You
okay.
might have a hard time
Right.
getting him, that's why everybody's gonna be hiding out.
Oh my gosh. But you know what's funny? That the retreat, I don't know how I plan these
Oh,
dates, but
new
the
moon, right?
21st of January was something when we had the retreat. And then I chose March 10th, which was the new moon. And then, I mean, the 8th, I don't know. My next retreat's on the 19th of May. I don't know what that is, but it's so funny that, yeah, you just don't know what, everything that you're listening to because you're automatic writing. You're more in tune to that intuition. That's a cool thing. That is the one thing that I loved yesterday was Presley too, because they were looking at me like, Mom, I don't know how to do this. I don't like, what am I gonna do? And they did it, wrote 2 pages. Amazing. Can you hear that ding when it dings? Oh, good. Because it's dinging and I haven't figured out how to fix that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So good to see you, everybody. Mwah. Love you all
Thank
so
you.
much.
Have a nice
Have
night.
Have a
Thank
good night, you
Oh,
guys.
you, Ashley.
You too.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.